Hello, every pony. A bold brownie here. I don't know why I'm doing voices. I'm not good at voices. I shouldn't do voices. I need to stop doing voices. I'm also talking about voices. I blame the alcohol. I always blame the alcohol. That sounds like something an alcoholic would say. Anyway, as I promised in the video that I just posted that you may or may not have watched, but if you didn't, you should totally go and watch it. I'm going to be doing a reading today. So technically that's 3 videos in 1 week. That's not half bad, actually. Alright. And as I mentioned, I'm working through my list of one-shot and one-chapter stories. This was requested by Anime Freak 4453, and with permission from the author, Aegis Shield, who's awesome, and who also went and posted a nice comment on the other story of his that I did earlier on. This is Rainbow Freaking Dash, from the same author as Big Freaking Macintosh. I'm doing voices again. Oh, I've got to stop this. It's like I can't control myself. It's like I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more bad voices. Oh my god, I'm sorry. There's no excuse for a bad Christopher Walken. Alright. I may have already had a little too much to drink. But it has been such a long week that it was really hard to not, want to... Anyway. Alright. So, this is going to be completely... Even though I should know better than this by now, this is going to be a complete cold read. I have not read any of this so far. And I believe, just like Big Freaking Macintosh, this was something that Aegis Shield wrote for one of those 60-minute writing challenges. So, I'm totally not going to fault him at all if there are any, weird little grammatical errors or spelling problems, because I totally don't think I could write anything in 60 minutes. Let's begin, shall we? Rainbow Freaking Dash by Aegis Shield. Rainbow Freaking Dash emerged from her cloud home, garbed in her white gi and black belt. Gi? G? G-I. It's like a karate term, apparently. I'm gonna go with gi. It wasn't just any black belt, either. It was a double dragon belt. There was only one level higher in her karate art. The triple dragon belt. Because math. And today she was gonna earn it. Rushing down from on high, she flared her wings and did an easy loop-de-loop, sending flower petals and pollen through the air. Landing hard with a very authoritative clop of her hooves, she gave her mane a toss. Flower petals wafted through the air behind her, anime style. Okay, the visual just hit me. I'm sorry. It's awesome. Oh, that's my phone going off. God, I'm so unprofessional sometimes. I'm sorry. Let me put that on silent. Where was I? Flower petals wafted through the air behind her, anime style, making her look positively enchanting. "Oh, there you are," a meek little voice asked. The Saiyan warrior turned. "Hey, Fluttershy," she chirped, coming over and throwing an arm around her meek friend. "Thanks again for coming to my test today. I have to have a witness to make sure it all goes down legit, you know?" Fluttershy nodded a bit, trying to smile. She really wasn't into the sorts of violent things that came with karate, but if it was important to Rainbow Dash, she could try. Pushing her pink mane out of her eyes, she nodded kindly. "Oh, it's no problem, really. It sounds exciting. I just hope it's not too exciting." She looked around, not sure her poor heart could take it. "It's no biggie, Fluttershy. I've just gotta... Whoa!" She sidestepped, grabbed Fluttershy, and tackled her to the ground. Chicka-wow. Anyway. Where the yellow Pegasus had just been was a large, spiny ninja star. "Uh-oh," Rainbow said, a frown crossing her face as she spread her wings aggressively. Fluttershy wilted back behind her as the bushes began to rustle, whimpering. "Come out of there! Show yourself!" Rainbow demanded. Suddenly, "Ninjas!" Sorry. There was an exclamation mark. I got excited. Suddenly ninjas. They burst from the thicket, a group of 5 stallions armed to the teeth with swords and chains, and Celestia knew what else. No! One of them spun a pair of chucks around, black mask hiding his shouting face. Here to test me for my triple dragon belt, huh? Will you leave Flutters out of this? Rainbow reared up and struck a karate pose, whipping her man out of her face. Not anime style, apparently. She glared at each of them in turn. Fluttershy was to one side, sitting on her haunches, her eyes big and soft as she watched her hero get ready for the showdown. The slick and tight line of her back legs was beautiful. The toned muscle of her wings and shoulders were just perfect. The gi covered most of it, sure, but Fluttershy could see it all in her mind's eye. Rainbow Dash's body was an athletic machine, rearing to go. No, Chicho, no, etc., etc. Further karate noises that are probably really offensive to any people of Asiatic descent listening right now. One of the ninjas said, pointing his katana at Rainbow Dash with fire in his eyes. Her eyebrows shot up. Why, that cheeky bastard. Sorry, I just read the next line. Oh god, okay, I really cannot wait for more chapters in this series. Your mothers wear bridles to bed. Rainbow shot back angrily, red in the face. All 5 ninjas looked positively outraged at such a claim. How dare she insult their mothers? Fluttershy put a hoof over her mouth, gasping softly. Such language flying back and forth. Oh my. No! The leader of the ninjas declared, red veins in his eyes. Suddenly they rushed forth as a group, ready to tear the mare limb from limb. Rainbow Dash took her cleansing breath, a few flower petals fluttering past her head in the process. I must be cool, she whispered, watching them come. Quiet, but mostly cool. 20% cooler than them. She let out a humming sort of mantra. She widened her stance slowly, eyeing the katana and the nunchucks especially. She planned it all carefully, oh, so carefully. Fluttershy whimpered. The violence was about to erupt. Rainbow rushed forward, took the sword, smote the first, grabbed an arm, broke it with a loud karate scream. She hung the second by his scrotum in a tree. Kamehameha, blasting him away, turning with a snarl. She Jermaine suplexed another into the ground as she was grabbed from the front and struck from behind. Oh, Celestia, the humanity. Game face. Professionalism. Fluttershy covered her eyes with her hooves, whimpering in feminine distress as the battle raged about her. Oh no, she said, shifting back and forth while flying hooves and clashing weapons went back and forth. Dashie took a hoof to the face, splatter of blood, grabbed the attacker by the neck, snap with the neck. Her gi ripped in a dramatic fashion, and she tossed the shirt away as she was gang-piled. Screaming with a burst of strength, she sent stains flying everywhere. Crack! She brought one ninja's spine down on her knee and then used his entire body like a club to smack another ninja. Hoo-yah! Oh goodness, Fluttershy sank to her belly as a dead ninja sailed over her head, hiding under her hooves and shaking. Be careful. Oh my. She hit her face in her pink mane. Explosions went off here and there, and trees uprooted themselves as Dashie took on the ninja swarm. It had been 5 ninjas a minute ago. Question mark. Flaring her wings to take the battle skyward, Dashie dodged a barrage of magic blasts from the unicorn ninja until pow 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 she was shot down. Shouting angrily, she kamikazed into her attacker and they tumbled into a muddy ditch. Grabbing him by his horn, she thrust his face in the dirt, hoof to the balls. Wappo. Leaping out of the ditch covered in mud, Dashie landed hard as a ninja in red rushed at her, barraging her with punches. His hoof was suddenly caught. Dashie snapped his wrist, punched him up, and slammed his face first into the ground. Crash! There was silence. Rainbow Dash stood there, panting, covered in mud and dressed in half a gi. She'd been up against 5 ninjas at the start of this fight scene, and now there were well over 3 dozen lying dead or dying in the field around her. Fluttershy was in the middle of the carnage, shaking like a leaf. Wiping the blood from her mouth, Rainbow trotted to her and scooped her up on her hooves. "Oh, Rainbow Dash," Fluttershy said, soft in the eyes and flushed at the sight of her. She looked like a wreck, but she'd bested all those ninjas. "It's no problem. And check out what one of them was carrying." Dashie smiled, turning to show off the legendary triple dragon belt around her middle. "You're the best, Dashie. Woohoo!" Fluttershy said it, barely above a whisper. Her smile was big, though. "You protected me. Thank you." "All in a day's work for the Iron Pony." Rainbow flexed for a moment, chuckling. "It's part of what makes me so awesome." She eyed Fluttershy a bit, a certain mischief rising in her eyes. "Now, as far as paying me back, those ninjas didn't kick their own butts, you know." "Paying you back?" Fluttershy whispered, pinkening in the cheeks. Dashie's wings had opened all the way into their full, glorious display. "Oh my." She was swept up in Rainbow Dash's arms, stroked comfortingly as her blush grew hotter and hotter. "It's tiring work, you know," Rainbow said with a predatory smirk. "I'd need somebody to help me relax after all that." "Oh, Rainbow Dash," Fluttershy whispered, her eyes large and doe-like as her best friend pressed her sexy advantage. Before she knew it, the muddy, sweat-stained pony had grabbed her up and pulled her into the filthiest, tongue-filled kiss any pony had ever gotten. Shoving a dead ninja's body aside as they went, Rainbow pressed Fluttershy against a tree. Something about the violence of the whole battle had really turned the blue mare on. The adrenaline, the sweat, the screaming ninjas. Oh, Celestia, it was so hot. Fluttershy groaned helplessly, her hooves rushing up into the chromatic mane as they tumbled into a bush next to the tree. "Spread your legs, you sexy mare," Rainbow pressed dominantly, laying over her and working her pink mane out of the way as she could. "I was wondering when you get to the good part." Fluttershy smirked from behind Fluttershy. "Eep!" Fluttershy dropped her quill and in her panic stuffed all 3 pages of her fan fiction into her mouth. The paper crumpled and Rainbow Dash burst into laughter, pointing at her. The butter yellow Pegasus turned a miserable red in the face and whimpered. "Hey now, you were doing just fine. Aside from the all capital letters thing." Rainbow grinned, pulling the paper out of her mouth and tossing it aside. "Now then." Fluttershy gasped as she felt herself being tilted romantically back out of the desk chair. The end. Oh, my Celestia, that was amazing. Oh, that was so amazing. That was absolutely delightful. Yeah, there needs to be more of these, like, right now. Oh my god, that was... Okay. Anyway. That is all for that story. So you should definitely, obviously, go and check out Aegis Shield's stories on FemFiction. As always, there's a link to his story in the description below. Also, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch the video I just uploaded. There's some exciting stuff and some updates and other things, and I was a little silly with the pictures again. And yes, otherwise, I hope you enjoyed. As always, thank you for listening, subscribing, commenting, liking, favoriting, requesting. You are all fantastic, and you are the reason I continue doing this, even when I'm sick, and when my throat hurts, and when I'm out of alcohol, which is the worst possible thing, or when I'm having a really crappy week because things are going rough. Anyway, I love all of you guys, all of you ponies, and until next time.